The galaxy held its breath as Admiral Chen Wei-Lin stood before the assembled representatives of 47 species in the Galactic Council chamber. The war was over. After 3 centuries of relentless conflict, humanity had achieved what every civilization before them had deemed impossible. Honored delegates, Chen began, her voice carrying across the vast chamber through universal translators, I stand before you today to announce that the last of the Devourers has been eliminated. A collective shudder rippled through the assembly. Even speaking that name aloud was considered an act of profound courage or foolishness. The Zephyrians' crystalline forms chimed with anxiety, while the gaseous nebulae shifted uncomfortably. In their containment fields, Ambassador Kethvar of the Draknari Coalition, his scaled features betraying skepticism, leaned forward. Impossible. Those entities have plagued this galaxy for over 10,000 years. Entire star systems have been consumed. The eternal citadel of Vos Prime, the singing worlds of Theta Centauri, all devoured along with their populations. How could a species that has existed for merely millennia succeed where we have failed for eons? Chen smiled, an expression that somehow managed to be both humble and terrifying. Because, Ambassador, humanity approaches problems differently. While your civilizations sought to hide, to build walls, to flee to the outer rim, we chose to hunt. The crystalline empress of the Zephyrians resonated with disbelief. Hunt? One does not hunt the darkness between stars. One does not pursue entities that exist partially outside our dimensional framework. It is madness. Perhaps, Chen acknowledged, but humanity has always had a unique relationship with madness. We are the species that looked at the vacuum of space and decided to live there. We saw worlds of ice and fire and called them home. When other species developed faster than light travel to explore, we weaponized it to wage war across galactic distances. She gestured to a holographic display that materialized in the center of the chamber. It showed the final battle. Humanity's fleet of reality anchor ships surrounding the last devourer as it writhed in the void, its form shifting between dimensions like a cosmic nightmare made manifest. For 300 years, humanity has dedicated itself to understanding our enemy. We reverse-engineered their technology from the remnants of consumed worlds. We studied their biology, if it can be called that, from captured specimens. We learned to think like them, to predict their movements, to anticipate their hungers. The Vorthon delegate, a being of pure energy contained within a mechanical shell, spoke with electronic tones. The cost to your species must have been enormous. We calculate that humanity lost 60% of its population in this conflict. Chen's expression grew solemn. We did. Entire worlds volunteered to be bait. Billions of humans offered themselves as sacrifices to learn the Devourer's feeding patterns. Children grew up knowing they might never see adulthood. Our poets wrote elegies for the living. Our architects designed cities meant to be beautiful ruins. And yet you persisted, observed the Mindweaver Collective, their thoughts rippling through the shared consciousness of their species. Why? Because someone had to, Chen replied simply. Because in all the galaxy's history, no species had ever asked the right question. Which was? Not how to hide from them, or how to escape them, or how to appease them. The question was, what happens to predators when their prey becomes more dangerous than they are? The chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. Chen continued, Humanity spent 3 centuries becoming the thing that the Devourers feared. We learned to tear holes in reality just as they did. We developed weapons that could wound entities existing across multiple dimensions. We created fleets that could pursue them into the spaces between spaces. We became relentless, patient, and utterly committed to their extinction. But surely, the Zephyrian Empress chimed, such dedication would have transformed your species into something else? It did, Chen admitted. We are not the same humanity that first encountered the Devourers. We are harder now, shaped by centuries of necessary cruelty. We have learned to think in terms of galactic timescales, to plan for wars that span generations. We have become something unprecedented in this galaxy, a species that chose to become apex predators. The silence stretched until Ambassador Kethvar spoke again. And now? With your enemy extinct, what becomes of humanity? Chen's smile returned, but it was different now, warmer, more recognizably human. Now we remember who we were before the war. Now we rebuild. Now we help others do the same. The galaxy is finally safe to dream again, to create art that will outlast its creators, to build civilizations that need not fear being devoured. She paused, looking around the chamber at the assembled representatives of species that had cowered in fear for millennia. But we will never forget what we learned. Humanity will remain the galaxy's apex predators because someone must. Someone must be ready for the next threat, whatever form it takes. As the session concluded, a remarkable thing happened. Across the galaxy, beings who had whispered the name of the Devourers in terror for 10,000 years simply forgot it. The very concept seemed to slip from memory like a half-remembered nightmare upon waking. Only humanity remembered the true name of their extinct enemy. They carried that memory like a sacred trust, ensuring that should such entities ever arise again, the galaxy would not face them unprepared. In the end, humanity had not merely defeated the Devourers, they had replaced them in the galaxy's ecosystem of fear and respect. The difference was that humanity chose to be protectors rather than predators, guardians rather than destroyers. The last threat to galactic civilization had indeed disappeared, and with it, the need for its name.